Today, I am reviewing the Dell Alienware 18 Area-51 gaming laptop. If at any time you'd like to explore this product for yourself and grab it at a great price, be sure to check the links below the video. If you are looking for a laptop that makes your current desktop feel like a piece of retro hardware, you've probably already stumbled across the Alienware Area-51m R2 successor, the new 18-inch beast equipped with the RTX 5090. I have been putting this machine through its paces for the last 2 weeks, and while it is undeniably one of the most powerful mobile devices ever built, it is not a purchase you should make without knowing exactly what you're getting into. You can check the links below the video to see the current pricing and configurations if you want to follow along with the specs. Let's start with the obvious elephant in the room, which is the sheer scale of this thing. This is not a laptop you throw in a backpack to work from a coffee shop. It is a desktop replacement in the truest sense of the term. The build quality is quintessentially Alienware, featuring that heavy, premium chassis that feels like it could survive a drop, though I certainly wouldn't recommend testing that. The 18-inch display is the highlight of the experience. The 2.5K WQXGA resolution hits that sweet spot where games look incredibly sharp without forcing the GPU to struggle unnecessarily. The anti-glare coating is excellent, which is a relief because the brightness levels are high enough that you really do not want to be fighting reflections during a dark scene in a horror game. Performance is where this machine justifies its existence. With the Intel Ultra 9275HX and the RTX 5090, frame rates are effectively a non-issue. I tested this with some of the most demanding titles currently available, and with DLSS 4 enabled, the frame generation is remarkably stable. The ray tracing performance is where I noticed the biggest leap over last year's silicon. Lighting reflections in puddles or through glass surfaces look incredibly natural, and the neural rendering tech really does smooth out the jagged edges that used to plague high-end gaming. If you are a competitive player, the NVIDIA Reflex 2 integration is noticeable. The latency reduction is subtle, but when you are playing at high refresh rates, the responsiveness of the mouse input feels as close to a wired desktop setup as I have ever experienced on a portable. However, we have to talk about the thermal reality. Even with the advanced cooling architecture Dell has stuffed into this chassis, the fans get loud. When you are pushing the GPU to its limit, it sounds like a small jet engine on your desk. If you are using speakers, you will definitely need to crank the volume to drown out the fan noise, so I highly recommend a good pair of noise-canceling headphones. The heat is mostly vented out the back, which is great for keeping your hands cool on the keyboard, but do not think about using this on your actual lap while gaming. It will get hot enough to be uncomfortable, and you will likely choke the intake vents anyway. The keyboard and trackpad are standard Alienware fare, which is a compliment. The keys have satisfying travel, and the per-key backlighting is vibrant without being distracting. I did find the trackpad to be a bit small for an 18-inch laptop, but since anyone buying this is almost certainly going to use a dedicated gaming mouse, it is a minor grievance at best. The 64GB of RAM and 2TB SSD give you plenty of headroom for modern titles and heavy multitasking, though at this price point, I would have liked to see a second SSD slot more easily accessible for future expansion. The software experience is a bit of a mixed bag. The Alienware Command Center has been improved, but it is still a bit bloated. You'll spend some time tweaking settings to get your power profiles exactly where you want them. Once you get it dialed in, though, the AI-boosted features like NVIDIA Broadcast actually do a great job of cleaning up your microphone audio and video quality for streaming. If you are a content creator, this machine is a genuine powerhouse for video rendering and AI workflows. Who is this for? If you are a high-end enthusiast who wants the best possible performance without the hassle of building a custom water-cooled desktop, or if you move between 2 locations frequently and need a consistent, top-tier setup at both, this is your machine. If you are a student or someone who travels for work, stay far away from this. The power brick alone is heavy enough to be a secondary weapon, and the battery life is exactly what you would expect from a machine this powerful, which is to say, keep it plugged in at all times unless you are just doing basic web browsing. The biggest disappointment for me is the value proposition. You are paying a heavy premium for the Alienware branding and the 18-inch form factor. You can build a desktop with similar specs for significantly less money. You are paying for the convenience of an all-in-one package, and you have to decide if that convenience is worth the extra cost. If you are interested in grabbing one, remember to check the links below the video to see the current deals or the latest configurations, as pricing on these high-end units tends to fluctuate quite a bit. In summary, the Alienware 18 Area-51 is a masterpiece of engineering that makes almost every other laptop look small and underpowered. It handles ray tracing, AI upscaling, and high frame rate gaming with zero hesitation. It is loud, it is heavy, and it is expensive, but it delivers on its promise of being the absolute peak of mobile gaming performance. If you have the desk space and the budget, it is a fantastic machine, but make sure you are ready for the compromises that come with having this much power in your bag.